Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Album Design Live webinar. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
Hello there, Jay. I'm really good. Hopefully you're not too cold up there.
No, the heat just kicked in nicely, and I'm
Right, good.
nice and toasty in the office right now, but thanks for caring.
Fantastic.
So, Kevin, great to have you with us. Obviously, invited tonight by ourselves and as well as our friends at Fundy. Kevin, for those people who who might not have heard of you, just tell us a little bit about you as a photographer, and obviously, I know you're a Fundy ambassador, along with also our fellow sponsors, Loxley, and a Loxley ambassador as well. So, a little bit about you, Bud, and how you got into the photography and got to where you are.
Oh, thanks very much, Jay. That was a lovely introduction. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on my first ever webinar. A little bit about myself. Well, originally, when I left school, I was actually a pro footballer. I got signed by Norwich City after having trials with Wolverhampton Wanderers, Southampton, Coultard, Ipswich. I was watched by West Ham, etc., etc. But unfortunately, my football career didn't last very long because I had a serious pelvic injury after 6 months. So basically, at 16 years old, I was told you either give up football or you end up in a wheelchair. So there wasn't any thought process with that one. But as you can imagine, at 16, it was quite a devastating thing to go through. But my father was a wedding photographer in the 50s, and I always remember as a kid going out on weddings with him with his old Yasha Kamat twin reflex 120 camera, which it's a shame we haven't got webcams because I've still got that on my desk and it's still in perfect working order. But I actually got into photography by pure chance. Two friends of mine were having a double wedding, and they asked me to photograph it because I'd done a little bit of motorsport photography, and they said, Kev, come and shoot our wedding. And basically, I said no to start with because unfortunately I heard loads of bad things about weddings being really pressurized environments, etc., etc. But please remember, this was 2 brides and 2 grooms. So I did shoot the wedding, had the time of my life, and here I am, sort of 20 odd years, 30 years on, still a professional wedding photographer. But in the meantime with that, I did work 15 years with Motoring News, going all over the country, photographing top racing drivers. I was very, very fortunate to photograph Ayrton Senna and Martin Brundle when they were in their Formula 3 days. So that's basically a little insight into what I did in the past, but now I'm very fortunate that I'm a Loxley ambassador. I'm the chairman of the guilds for judging, and also a Fundy ambassador as well. So hopefully that gives you a little brief insight, Jay.
Absolutely brilliant, Bud. Yeah, a perfect insight into what we are. Now, Kev, obviously key thing to chat about tonight, and thrilled that obviously you and I have chatted and speaking to Ali. After we've been doing a few of these, we are yet to actually do the album design live, which is exactly what you're going to do tonight. So I'm really excited to be able to share, with the audience, what Fundy can do, which is great. And I think, we've got a good 40 minutes. I think that the plan is to, well, I'm sure, I have no doubt that you're going to do almost a complete album. Well, I think it is a complete album for us, which is tremendous.
Well, it is going to be a complete album, and hopefully people are going to be blown away what this super software system can do for them, because when I first got introduced to it, I was blown away because it's such a cool program. But I can't wait to show you guys that haven't used it, because it really has changed the way I design albums.
And I mean, the key thing that I wanted to get across just before we hand over the screen share and everything is that, again, we discovered Fundy. I think it's about 3 years ago now, when Mark sort of found it and he went, hey, check this out. This is amazing. This is going to save us so much time. But it is just a fantastic bit of kit, and obviously that's what we really wanted to show off tonight. So I'm really excited about what we're going to see. And so, guys, before I do, I'm going to give Kevin the screen now in a second, and we're going to get started. Obviously, we want you to interact with us. I have obviously myself online. Any questions you have for Kevin, I'll be able to pose them to him. Ali's online as well with us from Fundy, so she's gone all quite honest, but she is there, which is great. So any real proper techie stuff, I've got Ali there for me as well. So please, any questions, we absolutely want you to interact with us tonight. And obviously, we've got the right team with us to answer all your needs there. So Kevin, I'm going to make you the presenter. So it's going to prompt you now in a second that I've done that. And it's going to prompt you to show your screen, and I'll let you know where I can see everything clearly our end, and there we go. So I can see Fundy nice and clearly. I can hear you loud and clear. So Kevin, I'm going to go quiet. Please feel free to prompt me if there any point that if you need me to check if there are any questions for you. I'll butt in where appropriate, but I won't try and affect the flow unless it's something that you're doing. But please feel free to say at any point, Jay, are there any questions for me? I'm sure there'll be many. It's all yours, mate.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Jay. Right. Good evening, guys, once again. What I'm going to do is take you through some basic designs on what this super software package does. So what we're going to do, what I've done previously is I have uploaded all the images, which you can see here. These are all the images just to save a little bit of time, because what I didn't want to do is take up all the time of downloading 105 images. So these have already been edited, fully edited, color corrected, ready for an album design. So what I've done is gone into the company on who we're going to use. Now, this is the cool thing about Fundy, is that you've got all these album designers, okay, that you can use for your albums. As you can see, Graphic Studio is one, and the one I'm going to use this evening, guys, is Loxley Color. Because I am the ambassador of Loxley's, I thought it'd be quite wise to use one of their albums rather than Graphic, but I do use Graphic Studio as well. And the beauty with these guys is that you can actually order direct. You don't need to export and then send it off. You can order direct, and hopefully once we get going I will be able to show you that. So what we've done is we've chosen Loxley Color. We go on to next. I'm choosing a Bellissimo Fine Art album, and then we just click next, and then this is the Bellissimo Fine Art album, so we just choose that one and click next. Okay, we're just going to go for a basic cover, and these are all the covers. This is the fantastic thing with this software, that whether you're using Loxley's or Graphy, you've got all the album covers in there. So all the software is all integrated into Graphy and Loxley. So how cool is that? Okay, so I've got this bit, so you can put Sarah and Tom's album. I'm just put for presentation purposes, presentation album. So we're just going to click that, and here we go into the album interface. Now, this is the cool thing, that when I first got introduced to this, this really did just blow my mind, to be quite honest with you, because I was using another software package that was so buggy. It took ages. It literally took me 3 to 4 hours to design an album. Now, if I actually said to you guys that are listening, I can design an album now on one click of a button, okay, it might not be perfect, but it gives you a fantastic base to actually start designing your album. So this is the cool thing. So if we go down to this button, auto design, okay, so this tells me how many pages we're going to do. I'm actually going to reduce that because I want a smaller album, so I'm going to do 35 pages to design with a total of 105. Now, what I need to say to you guys is how to upsell. What we do, the clients would have chosen about 80 to 85 albums. We always choose a few more to go in their album and put that in the album as a design and say, look, this is how your album can look. If you like it, it'll cost you X amount of pounds. If not, you can take them out. Letting 9 out of 10 times we get clients saying, oh, we absolutely love it, don't want to make any changes, so we're going to go from that. So I've got 35 pages to design, 105 images, album design. I'm just going to go a 3 to 2 1 ratio on all images. Now watch this, guys. Click that, design. How cool is this? There is an album. Okay, so it's not how I personally would like it, but it gives you a good base. Okay, so there's your album. You might want to change a few things. So if we double click on this, there is your album design. This is how cool and simplistic the actual software is. But it gets even better. Hard to believe, I know, but it is. Okay, so I'm going to clear this album. Okay, and I'm going to go back in to this. See this little icon down in the bottom right hand corner, like a chessboard? I'm going to click on that. Now what you can actually do in auto design, you can actually group pictures together. Now, what this means is they will be on certain designs. So although you're doing an auto design, you can actually program it to how you want the album to look. So what I'm going to do this a little bit slower so you guys can actually watch what I'm doing. This would literally take me about 30 seconds to do when I'm designing an album for myself. Like this time of year, we all know what it's like, that we get the album deadline for Christmas, we're up against the clock, and you think, oh man, I haven't got time to design an album. This is where Fundy comes into its own. Okay, you can design an album literally in 5 minutes, and I've done it. Okay, I'll give you an example. We had one client that was up against it because they left it so late that they basically nearly went over the deadline date. Okay, so I quickly done an auto design, checked the album through, and it went through to the client. I will show you the process on what we actually use to send this off to clients, because that is so cool. Our clients are in raptures about it. The amount of emails that we've got from our clients saying, oh guys, that was so easy to use. Literally from the time I clicked the button to send it to our clients, we got a response and the album was approved in 15 minutes. Okay, so on the days gone by when I used to have this clunky other software, we used to have to email it. The clients used to have an absolute nightmare to make changes. It used to come back to us. We used to have to try and decipher that. With Fundy, you don't need that. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. Okay, I'm going to choose these albums, which are prep shots. So this is just all the accessory shots, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to group them together, and then you can see the chain links that are gone. So these images are basically grouped together. But what I'm going to do, I can program it even more, and this is the cool thing about this software. This is a beautiful venue that we work at Hengrave Hall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that image and make it a main page. So what we've done is grouped all these images together, but we've made this image a main page. Then I'm going to go into all these preparation shots. So I'm going to group them together. And this one here on the left-hand side, I'm going to use that as my main image. Then we're going to go to the reveal. Okay, so I'm going to bring all these images together, and I'm going to group that together as well. But this image down here, hopefully you'll be able to see my cursor squiggling about. I'm going to make that the main page. Okay, then we go to groom prep shots as well. So what I'm going to do is click on this one and this one, and I'm going to group those together. But I want this image to be my main page. So I've done that. And then we've got these two images, and we're going to group those ones together as well. So what I'm going to do is actually make that one a main page and that one as well, because I want them basically on two separate sides. Then we're going to get the entrance of the bride. We're going to group them together. I know this seems slow, guys, but I would have done this already, and I would have clicked auto design. Then we've got the church ceremony. So we're going to group all those ones together. And then we've got the beautiful bride walking in. Very fortunate on this particular wedding because we could get elevated. So I'm going to click that one as my main page. We're going to group these confetti shots, and we're going to group that one as a main page. Then we're going to do the formals. So we're going to do all those, group those together. Then we're going to do the bride shots, group them together, and then I'm going to make that one the main page. Okay, so as you can see, we're telling the software exactly what we want the auto design to do. Okay, so hopefully, as you can see, this is going to save you a hell of a lot of time in when you're designing albums. Then we're going to do a few romantic shots. We're going to group those together. I'm going to say that one is the main one. Then we're going to do the two window shots, group them together, and then make that the main one and make that one the main one as well. So then we're going to do these two, just group them together. Do these four images, sorry, group them together. Group these two together. As you can see, I'm speeding up a little bit now. Okay, group these ones together. Main page, Then we're going to do all the accessory shots, group them together. Then I want a whole double page spread of all the people shots. Now, what we do when we actually photograph weddings, we actually have got album design in our minds when we take a particular shot. Okay, now when I took this shot, possibly I might change that when I show you another actual design, that might be a panoramic over 2 pages. And there's a couple of other shots we've done as well. With this one, with the symmetry with the windows, I possibly might have that over a double page spread, but I would need to see where the spine goes through the bride's head. Okay, so we're just gonna click on that one again, crop that one, or group it together. Then we got the speeches, so we're gonna group all those ones together. Then we got the dancing shots, we keep them there, so we group that together. We're going to keep this one as the main page, and then the final images all grouped together. Now, this is the cool thing. We come out of that, then we're going to go into our auto design. It's got 42 pages to design, 106 total images. Then we click design. How quick is that, guys? You saw that was literally milliseconds. So it's basically done exactly what I want it to do. Now I'm going through these images and basically that's nearly as good as I want it to be. I possibly might change this image, just bring this in a little bit more. I'll fit that to the page and I'll just come in there. So that is, it's done all the hard work for you. Instead of dragging and dropping images onto a page, Auto Design does it for you. So we've got all these ones, might make this one possibly a little bit bigger and just bring that into there. So just a couple of clicks a button. Don't quite like this one that I've done, so I might change that back into a little bit smaller. So we just bring these in. I will go into these icons a little bit better, guys, on how we want that to look. Okay, so we just do that. And so you can see it's so simplistic. It gives you the basic on how to design an album. Now, if you want to be a little bit more creative, what I tend to do, because I've got a rough design in my mind on how I want to design an album, I will basically design it manually and I will talk you through that. Okay, now a lot of people have actually said to me, oh, the Fundy's only good for wedding photographers. No, it's not. It's actually good for portrait photographers as well, because I'll show you later on, if we get time, there's some other little bolt-on extras that you can use for portrait photography as well. And trust me, guys, if you use this complete suite, you will increase your sales. Okay, now what we would do on this, we would then click it onto here, export it for print or export it for proofer. Now, if we click export for print, this is the cool thing. Okay, you can either export into Photoshop and just do some little changes or do an extra thing, or you can order it direct to Loxley's. Okay, we don't want to do that, so just come out. Oh, that's just sorry about that, guys. I've clicked the wrong button. I do apologize. Let's just fire up a little bit.
Kev, while that's
any
loading,
questions, Jay?
Yeah, perfect timing. What I wanted to just ask you while that's rebooting. Obviously, we kicked off perfectly with the auto design element on that.
Yeah.
But what we also saw you then quite quickly in the explanation is that even after the auto design is done, obviously you created the flow of the album as you just showed us in the grouping.
Yep.
But obviously every page now, what I wanted to emphasize, is still completely editable, isn't it? So
exactly. I mean, it's like this page here. You can still edit the images. Like, I personally not always like a page going to right to the edge, which is my own personal opinion. Please remember, guys that are listening, this is what I do. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's how I work, and I find this the best solution for me. So we can edit this image here, bring it in there. Just bring it up here. Now, this is the cool thing as well, which I'll go into a lot more detail. We can still edit this image even more. So if we click on that icon, the little spanner, we can bring this in a little bit more. We can move that down etc. If we click on this one, I won't do it because it'll take a little bit of time. If we click on this one, hopefully everyone can see me hovering around it. This will take us straight into Photoshop. So if there's a little bit of cloning, we need to increase the levels, the contrast, etc., etc., we can change that in there. If we change this one, that will swap the image over, so we can flip the image, because what I don't personally like, although the clock is wrong on this one, it might work on other images. What I personally don't like is seeing the groom looking out, but obviously we got preparation shots here. So what we could do on the whole layout is click this. So that's how cool this software is. Even though we've done auto design, Jay, we still got the capabilities of doing intricate little other design changes. Hopefully that answers your question.
It does brilliantly. And the other thing I just wanted to just quickly on the same note there, if you want to, if we can go back to that two-page spread, just so we can see it closer. The order, say, of the 4 images on the left, that's still changeable again now, isn't it? Just because you've grouped them, if you want to adjust it, perfect. I know you're going to go.
All you do is just drag and drop the images back in to the order you want.
Brilliant.
So
I know we're
that you
going to
can
see this more
do it
now.
however you want.
I know we're going to see this more now in the manual side, but I wanted, this is because it was this feature when we, you know, from the auto design and the ability to adjust like you've just done, that sold us straight away. We love the auto design feature.
Well, exactly, and this just blew me away. When I saw this, I actually spoke to Jonathan and Ali and said, why did I know about this software earlier? It would have saved me so much time and hopefully made me a little bit more money. Now, this is the other cool thing. Sorry to cut across you there, Jay. You can still change the pages. So if you don't like the order, you can swap them around. And it's so cool on how you actually design your albums, and so consumer friendly or photographer friendly. So we can change those ones round. We can change this one round. It's everything is user friendly. Okay, any other questions, Jay?
No, that was it for now. I just wanted to touch on that before we went into the manual design. I wanted to show the capabilities while we were on there. I wasn't sure where you were going, so I thought I'd jump in quickly before we move.
No, that's fine. Ask as many questions as you want.
It's all back to you, pal. It's all yours, mate.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jay. So what we're going to do, guys, is do clear. Okay, so clear the album. And then what we've got to do is go back into all this, because all these images are grouped together. So what we need to do is clear all the chain links and everything. There is some other cool features that I will go into later, hopefully if we got time, that you can actually do skin retouching within the software. So normally you would have to click on an image, okay, take it into Photoshop. Normally I would have already done this, but if you're doing a portrait album, you can just enhance the image a little bit more. Hopefully we'll have time to show you that a little bit later. Okay, so we've come out that. Okay, so normally what I would do is a similar thing, do a manual design, just drag those 6 images and put that in to the album. So that is really cool. That's not far off from what I actually want. I would just change the layout round, because I want Hengrave Hall as a big page spread there, and all of these are pretty cool already. So just one click of a button, you've got an album design. Now it gets even better, because if you don't like that design, you say, oh, I might want to change that. If you go up onto this layout icon and just click that, how cool is this, guys? You've got the multitude of other layouts that you could possibly use. I mean, so for argument's sake, we want to use that one. We just click on that, and that takes us back into that one. Okay, so possibly don't want that one. We're nearly going to go back to what we currently want. So I might even go for this one down here. So all I would do is click those there, click those there. And then what I might do is change that one over there and possibly change that one over there. So that is roughly how I want it. Okay. So we've then done that. Just bear with me a moment. I'm just going to bring that image over there. So don't forget, guys, you can go into these icons, and basically each individual image you can crop, you can rotate, okay, and you can zoom in and out. Okay, so I'm just going to,
Yeah, but I think you just answered one of the questions that just came in about the sorry, that there was the image of the building that was on the. And you see that it's slightly because there's so many lines. I think you just showed it.
yeah.
You can rotate the image, can't you, to sort of just
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. You don't need to. Normally, what I would do is I would have corrected all these in Photoshop just to make sure the levels are right. But you can do it with these icons here. This one here is you can rotate the images there. This one here, you can zoom in, and then you can move the image around. So basically, you are in control of everything within the software, and that's what's so cool about it. Okay, so if we didn't like that album, just go up to there. We could change it. And if you didn't like any of these designs, just click the next button and it will change into some more. If you didn't like them, that would go back. That's how cool this is. Okay, so we just we go back into, we'll go on to this one. Okay, so I'll bring that down. So the building's there. Now, if we go into this button here, align drop zone, this gives you a selection on where you want the images. The best one for me is there. That will bring it dead center. So that's really cool. So we've done that one. Okay, then we're going to do the bride preparation shots. So we go into that one. Once again, that is pretty damn good on how I would actually visualize the album. What I might do is alter this because I find the mum's face, bless her, is a little bit distracting. So all I do is click on that, and there you go. I'll just bring it down. Please remember though, guys, you've got guidelines here. If you see around the edge of the page, you've got red marks, almost like a 3-4 pixel stroke around the edge. That is your cutoff zone. So what you don't want to do is have someone's head up there because they would be losing a lot of their head. So what I always tend to do is always keep heads, arms and faces within the green lines. That's your safe zone. Okay, so we're happy with that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass these images because then there was the reveal. Okay, because what we've done is the bride, bless her, like normal, she was running late, so I went off and photographed the guys. Just so you know how we work, guys, I do work with my wife, bless her, Sabrina. She's the second shooter, but she becomes an unofficial bridesmaid as well, so she helps the bride and keeps her on her toes basically to get ready in time. So once again, that is nearly a perfect design on what I want. Okay, so if we just click on that, we just bring that in there. Are we okay on questions, Jay, while I'm just fiddling about with this one?
Yes, because the next question, but again, the question was, I think, was actually, even though I misinterpreted it about obviously rotating. I think you'd already answered about the fact that we didn't do it because obviously it does take a bit of time, but all of the images you showed that can go into, you can go off, take the images back into Photoshop for adjustment is what I was leading
Yeah,
to.
exactly, and that's the beauty with it. Once again, guys, if you click on that button, I will do that because I think, are we okay for time, Jay?
Yeah, we're fine, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just click on that button, and I currently still use CS6 because I absolutely love this program. We can just bring it in there, and if we wanted to do a unconstrained crop, we can do that as we want, and then we can basically rotate the image how we want it. Just bring that in now, and then we can rotate the image however we need it. But the software does do it for you.
And that goes
Okay.
for, and that obviously applies to any adjustment you do in software, whether it's coloring or
Yeah,
changes. And then obviously when you go
yeah,
back to Fundy,
yeah.
yeah, brilliant.
You can do a black and white conversion. So if I just click on that, you can just click on that, and we just do black and white one, and that will change it. So you have got variant different black and whites that you want. See, that one's a little bit more contrasty. Black and white 3 is even more contrasty. So we keep it that just to show people what this super software program can do. Okay, so that is basically it on that. What we're going to do now is we're going to do these shots here, bring that into there. Now, don't quite like this design. So what I'm going to do is just click off them, just quickly bring them in, and that's more like it, what I want. So then what we do is just bring that into there, and then keep it there, rotate that image there, and rotate that image there. So just bring them down a little bit so we get the crop right. So click on this button here, and that will align it. Then this image I'll bring into here, and bring that up there, there, because I like a page just of a singular image. So basically the groom is looking back into the other subjects. Okay, so then we just bring that there, and that's that one done now. So what we're going to do is do these two shots, and that's pretty damn cool. But we have got a slight problem with this one, because as you can see, the spine is going through Dad's face. So I would actually change that. So what I would do is bring that one into there, bring that one into there, and bring that into there, and then do this one as well. Is I'd mostly make that so they're not all looking the same. I bring that there, bring that there, and then I would alter that and bring that there, and that's done already. Alter that one a little bit, bring that one in. What I've got to remember is that I've got to talk to people, because normally I've done these presentations and people are sitting in front of me. So if I do go quiet, guys, I do apologise, because I go in design modes. Okay, so hopefully everyone's following me. So we got the bride walking in. So we just put them in there, and that's a pretty cool page already on its own. So just going to fill that a little bit, and then I'm going to bring that one in a little bit more there, and up there, and down there, and just do that and bring it into the center. So already we've got all the images as we want them in the design. Now what I want to do is keep all these images of the ceremony onto one page, and that is near on, damn it. Okay, but what we need to do is rotate those images, because that's the bride walking in, and that is exactly as I want it. So that is pretty damn. But can you see, guys, is that just a few clicks of a button, that the software is so powerful that it's doing all the hard work for you, and all you've got to do is fine tune it to how you want the albums designed. Now, as I said, this is a few images that the bride and groom only wanted free of the ceremony. So what we've done to make the page look a lot better, we've actually put a few more images in and say, look guys, you know, this is how it can look. And as I said at the beginning, normally 9 out of 10 times the bride and groom will go for what we said. Okay, we'll go for that one. And once again, the software is so cool, it's done everything for me. That's nearly as I want it. So just bring that in a little bit more. We just bring that central, just making sure we're keeping within the green lines around there. Be careful, don't bring heads, as I said before, above the red lines, because you will end up cutting them off. So once again, that's done. We're going to do the formals now. Once again, that is there on, damn it. So we do that. Just bring that one there. Bring that one there, and I'm happy with that design. You got mum and dad there, they're her sisters, and then that's her nan, but we want that a little bit bigger. So I'll just bring that in there. Might do that one a little bit bigger without chopping her arm off, and bring it there. So I'm happy with that design. So already we've done 18 sides already. I know it's taken a little bit longer because I'm trying to show you how the software, but that is a really pleasing album that we're getting going here. So once again, we go into these shots here, and what I would do is just come out of those ones and just bring those two in, because that's exactly how I want them, because she's such a beautiful bride. Would you believe though, guys, this bride is actually a fellow photographer, so no pressure there. and I'm pleased to say she was thrilled to bits with her album. But once again, I personally don't like brides looking out the album, so what I would do is just change them round. Okay, let's just click on there and change it. It's not actually doing it, so I'll just quickly do it that way. Okay, so we've got the bride looking in there and the bride there, so that's a lovely page there. So then we're going to bring these 3 pictures in here. Don't quite like the design there, so I personally just quickly click off them and then bring them in there, and then that will fit there, that will fit there, and there. So to save time, we'll bring there. I would actually rotate this one a little bit more, and as you can see, that's just rotated. It just needs a little bit more, and then it's done it there already. Now, one thing you must be aware of, if you do rotate an image, it's like lens correction. Okay, you will have the transparent part of the image showing. On Fundy software, you will see a little bit of a black border. As you can see, there's a black border, so please be aware of that. If you do rotate an image, you need to make sure that you zoom in a little bit more. Just do that. So we click off that, needs a little bit more there, and a little bit more, just so that you're making sure that you're not getting any black lines on your images. Okay, so that's done now. Then what I want to do is just do this one here, and there, and that's done already. So that's another page. What I want to do is do these 2 here, come out of that one, come out of that one, and bring them together. So want those 2 images together because this is a beautiful window, and there you go. Just try and keep them similar-ish, and that's done now. Any further questions while I'm just doing this, Jay?
It's me. And I think I know the answer to this already, but I need to ask you it anyway. The images that you place in, can you add a keystroke to the images within Fundy?
That's a good question. I'm not 100%. Over to Ali on this one.
So we put Ali on the spot.
Yes, you can.
There you go. And how would we do it, Ali?
Hang on just a second.
It was just something that it's something, the reason I asked it, somebody mentioned it earlier on in the question panel, but it's something that I do quite a lot. And
yeah.
But I admit I haven't done it in Fundy myself as yet, but I do it. I tend to do it a lot in the back.
I used to do it before, but I find that a lot of the clients were actually asking us to remove the keystroke away from the albums because they wanted to keep it clean and simplistic. So, Ali, over to you, whether you're able to answer that one.
Yeah, I think it's in the wrench icon. So if you click on the wrench, I think you can add it there. And then that's just for,
there you go.
It's called stroke. That's what we call it in the US. And then if you want it not just in that drop zone, you have to change it in the settings. And then you can set it so that there's the same stroke on every photo.
Yep. So does that answer your question, Jay?
It does indeed, mate. Yes, perfect, spot on. I had a
I've actually done something myself this evening because I personally don't use a stroke, but if our listeners are wanting a stroke, then there you go. I've just put a little stroke around the image.
Yeah, I did something recently where I was doing a very simple 1 image per page sort of album design, and for me and the images that I were doing, it just finished it off for me. But I made the images. There was a lot of white space, in my page design, but it, like you said, it's personal taste. I like it, but I don't always use it. But it was just something I'm sure I'd seen it in Fundy, but I couldn't remember where it was. So perfect, mate.
No, that's really cool. So I mean, once again, Fundy excels. It does everything that you want it to do. The only thing it doesn't do, Ali, you might be able to look into this one, is actually take the pictures for you. And then we'd have a really easy life.
I will look into that, but I think that's what we have you for, right?
Thanks a lot for that, Ali. Okay, so we've done a few of these pages. I'll speed things up a little bit more for you guys. So, because I think there's a lot more we can actually be talking about. Okay, so that one there. Just bring that in a little bit so we're getting the aspect ratio correct. Bring that one there. And now we'll just bring that down a little bit more there. So we just bring that into the center. That's that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is just say perfect. That I don't even need to go into that. That's exactly what I wanted when I actually took these pictures. I wanted them on a separate side, each of those images. So I don't even need to double. I will for the viewer's benefit. That is exactly what I want from the images. So they're big, big images. Okay. Then we're going into these. Once again, that is near as damn it on that. That's really cool. I'll just bring that down. For all our listeners, I mean, this software, honestly, guys, really did blow me away. That I used to spend hours and hours, and I was basically losing the will to live on how to design the album. Fundy is so good because it takes some of the design headaches away from you, because sometimes you get mental block and you think, oh God, what am I going to do now? You just click out on the layouts and it does it all for you. So this is how cool. I mean, I absolutely love Fundy. I really do. I know Ali's there, but this has literally changed my way that we design albums, we present albums, and honestly, guys, our album sales have gone up, because what we used to do is sell a lot of USB sticks, but that is starting to diminish, because what people are doing, we're showing them designs, we're showing what their album can look like, and they're thinking, oh hey, you know, we really need these albums, they look beautiful. So we're upselling all the time. I mean, not quite liking that, so what I do is take those ones out, bring that into there. That is how I wanted the albums, trying to keep all the accessory albums on one page. So we bring that up to there, bring that down there, bring that there, and that's a cool page. Okay, what I might do, in fact, I will split this, okay, and I'll put this one over here. Okay, there you go, that's done now. For the simple reason, and I'll tell you why I've done that, guys. Okay, we'll just put that image there because it's the room, beautiful room set up. Now, some of you might be quite good at spotting things. There's a little space heater there. So what I'm going to do is just alleviate that a little bit, and then that's gone. Okay, now the reason I've done that is when I took all these people shots, I had a double page spread in mind that we do all these people shots and then we can put them on 2 pages and they look really cool, because we have so many people come into our studio and they absolutely love basically a sample album that we got where there's all the people. So this is how we upsell, because the majority of people days gone by have not wanted people shots within their album. So we thought we'll put this in to show the bride and groom, look, all these guests came to your wedding, yet you haven't got them in your album. Now, this isn't quite as I've envisaged it when I took the images, because that image is a standalone. So what I'm going to do is go into here, and there it is already. I've got 2 choices. That one, which we could have done. I should have chosen the other one because it would have been like this. And that's exactly what I envisaged when I took all these images. Okay, so when you're photographing a wedding, I have literally got album design in mind. Okay, so that was a couple of clicks and we've done. Okay, the same with the speeches. I always wanted a double page spread of all the speeches. So once again, I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I don't even need to go in there. That is exactly as I wanted. I mean, the groom, he's really apprehensive now and thought, I really shouldn't have chose that best man. And we just swap that one over and just bring that in there, and that's it. change that round now because the father was speaking first. But a bit of a poor expression with one of the guests there. So all we do is go in now, zoom in, and then she's gone. And there you go. So that's that page there. Okay. Now, with Eddie done, I know this has taken a few minutes, but I would have done this ages ago and I would have proofed it and it would have already gone out the door for the clients to see. But obviously, I'm taking my time because I want to show you guys how cool this software is. Okay, we just go in now. And once again, that's exactly how I wanted to see this one. I'll just bring that one in, see if that looks better. There you go. I might actually change this image to black and white, because that's the trouble when someone wears a red dress, is that your eyes drawn to them. Okay, so that's fine. We've done that. And then the final page is that we was very fortunate that this bride, she was Slovakian, and they done a Slovakian dance, and it's like the old Greeks do, a money dance. So we just click on that, and that design is as we want it. That's absolutely perfect. Okay, so now we are happy, 40 sides, we are happy with our design. So what you can do, you can go up into a proofer, and I'll just put it in presentation, new folder, proofs. Okay, just put that there and create. So just doing now, and this is a cool thing as well. It will basically do proofs for you, but also you can export the file numbers, which makes it a lot easier for your bride and groom to look at a number and say, Kevin, can you alter image 24 for 34? So we just export that, and that will go through and export all your images for proofing. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is then what we do next, and this is the bit that our clients really do love because it is so simplistic and the interface of it is really good. I'm very fortunate that I've got the whole Fundy suite, but it suits my business. Okay, it really works for us. Hopefully, after seeing this and how good this software is, that you guys can use this software and basically sell more albums and more images within an album. Okay, we'll just let that go through. Are we okay for time, Jay?
Sorry, Kev, I was muted there and I couldn't find the mute button. Yeah, we're good. We're at 10 to 8, so we've got plenty of time. There's no problem at all, mate.
We're okay, are we?
Yeah, perfect, mate.
Okay, just wanted to check. Hopefully I haven't been waffling for too long. Right, so that's taken a little bit of time. Okay. Now, hopefully that'll go through pretty soon. And that's nearly done. Okay, so then this is a cool bit. Would you like to go to the design proofer? At this stage, I'm going to say no, okay, because I've already got some proofs in there ready. I feel like Blue Peter, one I prepared earlier on this. So I'll click no, but what I'm going to do is go into Firefox. That's one I use. We'll just bring that into there. And we go into design proofer and log in. Just go back on now. Okay, now this is the interface. Okay, these are all our clients that have had their albums. Now, one I prepared earlier. Okay, this is what you do. Okay, if I click on there, you've got the proof name, Tom and Maria wedding album, client name. If you wanted to add a new client, you just click this tab, you enter their details and an email address. Uploads, revision. I've already uploaded their album, but all you do is go in there and select the files. So if I went in there, if we go into presentation, that's got the proofs down the bottom here. So all I would do is load those proofs. So all I do is click, and then that would load into the system. Okay, then we just go save. And there you are, that's the previous album that I've designed. That's what they would see. And this is really cool. Okay, what you can do, you can actually upload music as well. Okay, you can basically do the design. They've got nice music. It's all the effects of making it a little bit emotional. Okay, save that. Okay, then you can actually do reminders. How often do we think, oh, such and such haven't basically approved their album? So what you can do is switch that on, and then you can do whatever you want. Okay, so once a month, twice a month, and it'll send them a gentle little reminder. Now, this is the real cool thing. Okay, you can finish and it will automatically send them an email. I'm not going to do that. Okay, otherwise they'll be getting another email, because this is a live client. Now, this is what they would see. Okay, so we click on that. Just wait for that to load, guys. Okay, and then the client would see this, and if they want to basically make a comment, I haven't clicked on the right link for this, because then they can add a comment on this. Okay, in fact, if I come out of that and just go on a link, and then that's what would be sent to them. So you just click on that. Just waiting for that to load. And there you go. So all they do is click on that bubble, and then they could say, don't like that cover photograph, Kevin. Can we change it? And can we change the names, or etc.? Then this is the one. This is a recent album. And then see all the numbers. So they can just put that on there. Once they've done that, they just click finished. Okay, then this is the cool thing. You will get an alert via email to say that a client has made comments on their album. So if I go into this one, that should, as you can see, guys, it's all approved. So there's no horrible misunderstandings. It's a fail-safe method, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Okay, they can approve everything. So once it's approved, okay, we'll come out of that. We'll go back into this. Then you would click on this icon again. Okay, and then you can order direct from lab. So I won't do that, because that will take me through the process. So this would go direct to Loxley's, or if you're using Graphy, it would go direct to Graphy, and that's really cool. Now, the cool thing is even better. You've got more things that you can do with this software. You can actually do slideshows. Okay, so I've done a presentation. I've already set all this up, guys. So you can put album in there. You can put your logo. You can export it, send it to the client. There's a good array of music. Okay, I've just chose Wedding Song once, and then we'll just click play. And then all you do is click this.
Just to let the guys know, Kevin, that obviously via the webinar they won't be able to see how clear and smooth the transitions in the slideshow are.
Oh no, that's the problem. That's what I was going to say. It is so seamless, and it's really cool, and it just gets the emotions. They relive their day. But look how cool this software is. You know, it's like we can go into this image. Okay, if we want to do a little bit more for this girl's skin, we go into edit, and how even better is this? If you look at this image, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the load full resolution, okay, and then we can click on this a little bit more. Let's just enlarge the image a bit more. So we're going to give her a healthy glow. If you look at the image on the girl's face, guys, then click that. Then that will do a nice little healthy glow on the bride's face. See, it's actually changed. Okay, it's just a little bit extra if you want it. I think this is really good for fashion shoots or portrait sit-ins, you know, because normally, I mean, I would have done most of this in Photoshop or whatever, but it's just that little bit extra that you can use basically to do all your images, just to improve them a little bit more. So if we clear that, it takes us back. If you want the supermodel skin, just click on that. It might take a little bit of time because obviously we're going on a webinar, and there you go. Basically, it's slimmed her down a little bit, it's softened her skin, but this is the good thing. You've actually got like an opacity control button here. So you can actually slide that and you can control it a little bit more, or you could increase it. Okay, that's going to lag a little bit. Okay, just bring that back. Okay, so we just clear that and just wait for the good old beach ball. So that, in a nutshell, guys, that is how I design albums and basically earn more money. Is that on these designs here, okay, we've got extra images in the wedding ceremony. We've got extra images in the people shots. We've got extra images in the speeches as well, and we put a few extra. So all in all, this couple would have chosen between 80 to 85. We've put 105 in, so we would have earned ourselves extra money if they would have approved the album. Hopefully that has helped people understand a little bit more about how cool Fundy is. And I think, well, we bang on time, Jay.
We are indeed, mate. Bang on 8 o'clock. We've got a few questions, so we'll get them done. But you've answered a ton of them as we went, which is great. I got a feeling Ali has to leave us because she's got a meeting, but she's answered a load of questions for us.
Fantastic.
So, if she has left us, thanks for being with us. And obviously she's available. And of course, if you have any questions for Fundy, then please contact them or get in touch with myself, and I'll happily forward them on. But Kevin, no, and a fantastic insight. I mean, the one thing, obviously, we haven't got, we've talked about it with obviously the other Fundy ambassadors in the previous webinars and stuff, but we've talked about the upselling. I mean, when we had Scott on, I know Scott's a good friend of yours as well as ours.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
How he was saying that, he's basically taken the USB off the price. Yeah. It doesn't exist anymore. He's just an album photographer. And obviously there's lots, and one of the methods that we were discussing with Scott was almost this pre-design that you've talked about tonight, where 9 times out of 10, the customer is just approving what you've done. I was chatting to Scott that one of the things that he was saying is that one of the, I'm not sure if it was Scott or one of our wedding photographers, but who also uses Fundy, but basically says if you take the album without any changes, it's X price. It's almost like such a time saver. And I think the one thing that we didn't actually talk about tonight, and you've shown it in less than an hour. You've created an entire wedding album in less than an hour, which is fantastic, and that is the power of Fundy. But think about the time that it saves you as the photographer. So not only is it about making your money in the sales,
exactly,
the time that you get back in your personal life, in your business life. And that's what, when Mark found Fundy 3 years ago, and it happens, it was the same when he found Animoto. He went, Jay, you've got to check this out. This is going to be such a good danger. And you touched on it briefly, because I know obviously predominantly you're a wedding photographer. We've talked about how we use Fundy within the portrait business as well. But we also use their tools to create advertising material, pop-up banners, in the collage maker, and of course they've got the I don't know what its word is, and Ali's going to kill me because she's not here now, but they've got the actual wall art section of the software as well, where you can show the comments.
That's what I'm just going on to now. Hopefully I might, if this will actually work. Have I got a few seconds just to show this?
Yeah, of course you have.
But basically what you can do, guys, if you've got a client, if you're a portrait photographer and you get them to photograph their room, but as long as you know a known dimension, you can use this tool. Okay, if you click on that, basically you can calibrate the screen, and I don't think that's going to load actually. I think we've got a little bit of a lag there. Okay, you can actually measure across somewhere and get an exact dimension. So if you want to put that picture in, we can put pictures on the wall. Okay, now what we want to do, okay, is just go into layouts and say, oh, we want the pictures to look like that. Okay, so we can basically show them how their images are going to look on a wall. Now what we can do, I'm going to go into a print, okay, and then we're going to, let's just go into the layout a little bit more. We're going to do that one. Okay, so you can actually make the prints look exactly as you want them to do, and you can put frames on them, etc., etc. So you're showing the client, because you're selling wall space, you can show them how they're exactly going to look, Jay.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's a fantastic tool. And that we've shown off a few times, and that's what I just wanted to emphasize, really, guys, is that it isn't just about album design. I mean, Kevin's shown you the slideshow material. The proof is incredible as well. So it's and the other thing, actually, Ali put it in the question panel, and it is a really good reminder. Somebody asked about the costings and everything, but you can get a fully working free trial, and the only thing you can't do with the free trial is export it. So if you do nothing,
exactly,
go and check it out. Kevin, I'm going to start working through the questions. There's not a lot because we've answered a lot of them as you've gone.
Oh, right.
So, which is great. But Ali and I have been sort of weeding them out, but we've got a few that I definitely want to ask you. They're not in any they're not in any particular order. Really nice question came in earlier on, and it's more about your personal thoughts on square and landscape albums. Square and upright albums over the traditional landscape. So obviously, I mean, traditionally, we most of the time we think of the landscape sort of album, especially more so to with wedding. But what are your thoughts on the uprights and the squares?
Right, my personal thoughts, I absolutely love the landscape because you can do really fantastic panoramic pictures, i.e. let's just go into one of these images. Okay, let's just go into here. If you've done a square album, oh, that's going to go into that one bit. Sorry, guys, I need to go back into album, presentation album. I do apologise. Yeah, I personally like landscape albums because of me. I can sell more images over a landscape, like this image. Okay, what I could do, I'm going to delete that one. This is what I can do to it. This is what I had in mind when I actually shot this image. Now, the only problem I've got with this is the bride and groom are going directly through the seam. So what I can do is try and bring that in a little bit more and then move them off to the side. That's why I like landscape, because you can do panoramics. With square albums, that they are very boxy, but that's my own personal preference on that one, Jay. Yeah. It doesn't mean they're bad, but basically I would say 99.9% of our clients choose the landscape. They have a choice. I'll give you an example. Okay, we had about 2 years ago, we had clients ask us, about 7 clients said to us, oh, you don't do a square album. We said, no, but did you want one? Oh, yeah, we'd be interested in that. So we thought, oh, that'd be a good idea. So we had a sample made in a square album. Guess how many we've sold? If you saw me now, I've got a big 0 coming up. Okay, we haven't sold one square album. So next year, for us personally, we are going to be ditching the square album. We sell more because they're bigger pictures. You can get more on a page across the 2 spreads. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. And I was just thinking about all of the display albums that we have here, and every single one of our wedding albums, with the exception of one which is an upright, and I haven't looked at that in a long time. The other square and uprights that we have actually within our display material are all actually portrait albums. I thought that was, that's quite a key element. Brilliant. Ali wanted me to ask you this, but I know the answer if you don't, but I'm sure you do. Obviously, right back at the presentation, we showed that we chose to work with the Loxley presets, obviously you being a Loxley ambassador.
Yes.
But one of the questions that came in was, obviously, we showed that there were many labs that we're already affiliated to within Fundy. But can you print yourself and can you design yourself? And the answer to that,
yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah, there's no problem at all. What you can do is basically do a bespoke size for yourself. So what you can do is program the system. You don't have to use anything in here. If I set it up, basically I try to save time, guys. So what you can do, when you actually open the software, you can bespoke a custom bespoke album to you. So you can do all the spreads to the sizes you want, you can export them, and you can print them yourself. You do not have to use all of these. So before this section, what I'm going around now, there would be a custom, basically a line of albums that you can use. So if you've got a particular size, a 16 by 12 album, you can punch that in, click the next. Oh, in fact, here you go. There it is. There you go. That's what you can do. You can go in that, put your spreads in. So we can do a 16 by 12 DPI. 300, and then that would take you through and do that for you. Hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, when we actually started using Fundy 3 or 4 years ago, they didn't already have the affiliation with Loxley, so we did exactly that. Still exported it, and the file still went to Loxley for the album designs. You know, we did software. But the beauty of it now, obviously, with Loxley and many of the other suppliers, as you've said tonight, it's all sat in there, and you can obviously order it straight through them, which is fantastic. Brilliant, mate. Okay, so again, I know the answer to this. I'm sure you do, and we touched on it earlier. This is a 3-part question, and the answer is yes, yes, yes to them all. Can you add a picture to the background as a page? Well, I think you've shown that. But
yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Change the page color? Yes, we can.
Yes, you can.
Add text to an image or the page? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Vignette any of the pictures? Yes, you can.
There you go. I've just gone on to that icon there. The T, there's a text box, and you've got all different fonts that you can use on that one. So yes, yes, and yes.
That's exactly how
there isn't much this software doesn't do.
That's exactly what Ali answered earlier, but I thought it was perfect. I mean, obviously, think about what we have done, or what I should say Kevin's done in less than an hour. But obviously, you know, when you get your hands on it and take the free trial, guys, if you haven't done so already, go and have a look around and see exactly what it does for you, because we've shown you so much, but we have just scraped the surface. Is phenomenal. This is a really nice question, which is the one to finish with, but I thought it was a really interesting question as well, Kevin. If client's original package was for the USB, would you go ahead and design an album with Fundy and try and tempt them in an upsell?
Yes, yes, definitely. Right, this is what we do. Hopefully I've got time to answer this. When couples come in, they normally say to us, oh, we want a USB. Now, this is what I do. In our office, I've got 3 big prints on the wall. And what I do is take the USB out, okay, and I put it beside a print and say, what would you prefer, a USB stuck on your wall or a beautiful print in a frame? And that normally upsells, or an album, etc. Nearly everyone that comes in, all they're interested in is a USB. But we don't do a hard sell or anything, but we just make them aware, you know, have you thought about an album? You know, you can order that later. I mean, we do still sell USBs, but normally now it's after we've sold an album. They want all the images. And we always say to them, look, if you do have a USB, please print them. You know, Fundy are fantastic with this, with the power print. This is what I've been harping on about a long time. This is my own personal thoughts, that we're not printing enough, and I think we should be, Jay.
Oh, absolutely. And it was quite interesting. I think it might have even been when we were online with Scott, and I've been chatting to Jonathan and Ali recently about, obviously, you know, fundamentally, originally, obviously, everybody thinks about Fundy predominantly at the beginning for, you know, obviously wedding album design. But obviously, I was saying to Ali just yesterday via email that one of the things that I get hassled about is that from my friends and my family is that my images have been shared with them. They've seen them on social media. They've seen my own website images, but they're gone. They're not. They're in this digital, you know, ether. And one of my closest friends said, you know, I want to revisit our trip to New York. And I went, oh yeah, of course. I love my travel photography and things like that. So it prompted me. This was about a year ago, to make a photo book, and I did it primarily for him as a gift. And then I just thought, why the hell have I not done this before? I have all these trips, and I have I don't know about you, Kevin, but I'm still a fan of a book. My bookshelf, I love my bookshelf. It's everything from my fiction to my photographic hero.
It's something. So sorry to cut across you, Joe. It's something tangible, isn't it? I mean, what would you rather have? A little USB in your pocket, or something that you can smell, you can feel, you can look through? It brings back memories. You can pass it on to the children.
Print is back. We've got so used to this digital era.
Yeah.
And the print, I think, and the book and the album is so important, and it gets looked at along with the wall art. So, I'm a big fan of it. And I was just talking to Ali and Ali said to me, she said, well, Jay, do me a favor then. When you do your travel books, can you, do it as screen capture and show the guys? And I will. I'm going to do that in the new year for the Academy. Part of the thing that put me off until recently was the amount of images. So my trip to New Zealand, is probably about 500 edited images. And how do I put that into a book? And, guys, you've just seen it, albeit with Kevin's wedding.
Well, exactly. And the 500 is irrelevant now because you've seen how simplistic the software is. It's very user-friendly. But the thing is, guys, what I would like to say, you are what you sell. I mean, if you're not showing albums, people won't buy. And this is what we found. Basically, we hide the USB sticks. Okay, we don't really show them anymore. All we do is have albums, beautiful albums. We've got this lovely IKEA presentation box that's got all these beautiful albums, and people say, oh, what are they? And so we bring them out, and then you've got the smell of the leather, you've got acrylic covers, aluminium covers, and they're just beautiful. I mean, with all the paper types that you get now, print is definitely coming back. We're seeing a change, but it's up to all other photographers to try. The power of print is here to stay. That's my philosophy anyway. Hopefully I am going to be right.
No, we totally agree with you here. Totally agree with you. And obviously we don't have, I'm not saying they can't buy a USB off me.
No, exactly.
But do you know what? It's as expensive as an album is, and that's the way I work.
Yeah.
It's not on our price list. And if somebody says they want the digitals, that's fine, but it's going to cost you. I was just chatting. Well, Scott brought it up because Scott, as I said, he's taken the USBs off his price list.
Yeah, we're doing the same next year, actually, Jay.
And we have a regular contributor to the Academy, Fiona Ingvarson from Fiona Elizabeth Photography.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic photographer, and I was chatting to her on her webinar about taking, and she just went, God, I'm going to do exactly what Scott said. I'm going to take the USB off. Just believing in yourself and believing in your photography.
Exactly. Exactly, but the thing is as well is you've got to be enthusiastic. I mean, not sort of being big-headed or blowing your own trumpet, but we show so much enthusiasm, so much passion for what we do. People buy into us. Yeah, you've got to have a good product. You've got to be a good photographer. But if you're sitting there thinking, oh yeah, another wedding, but if you're, oh hey guys, this is what we can do for you. It's all about our clients. I mean, I'll give you an example. We've just won another 2 weddings today, actually, and I think I spoke to you previously on this, Jay. In the last 2 weeks, the majority of our couples that have booked us purely on what we're showing on our websites.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But we have got albums, and that's going to be updated over Christmas. Okay, when the turkey is settled down, I'll be getting onto the website and putting all new albums on there so clients can physically see what we're about.
Brilliant. Kevin, from me, and I know Ali's already asked me to thank you in the panel. She's sorry that she...
Absolute pleasure.
But a fantastic insight, loads of thanks coming through the chat panel. People, wow. Heard about it, now I've seen it. Your job was well and truly done tonight, my friend.
Well, if I can just say thank you very much indeed to you and Mark of the Photo Academy, also Fundy along with Loxley's for inviting me on this. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed, Jay.
Oh, it's been likewise from me to you. I really, really appreciate it. And Kevin, I hope it's the first of many that we do.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Absolutely brilliant. Just a few, Kev, before we go, obviously, thank you. If you remember, when I hang up, but I want to...
Don't worry. Don't worry.
But I am going to screen the, I'm going to steal the screen back just so I can do a few reminders before we go.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
But again, thank you so much, my friend. It's been a really
absolute pleasure, Jay. Thank you.